Oh, I know how that felt. I know how you felt, how we felt at one point, at several points. All right. The Bears beat the Packers. Revenge is a dish best served cold on the lakefront. 22-16. All right. You're talking about, I'm sorry, the Windy City podcast, Alex Shapiro, I'm Kenneth Davis. That's how amped I am. But you're talking about a game where you don't have your two top receivers or two of your top three receivers, basically, in Roman Dunze and Luther Burden. Of course, they don't have Micah Parsons. And you kind of saw that from Caleb's escapability because Michael Parsons was going sideline to sideline. And so you see the difference in the end of that last game we were talking about, where it's like, well, he could have got it, but Michael Parsons was on something then. And when you didn't have Michael Parsons, Caleb could get where he wanted to get with his feet. But points still being, you had a game where the momentum was going towards the Bears with Jordan Love in the game. And we got to get to that hit with Booker or whatever and Tom Brady and some of the things that he was talking about. All right. But you have that. Malik Willis comes in. All right. Malik Willis. And for some of you who may remember him as a Tennessee Titan, but not remember what he's done as a Packer.
He's been a really good backup.
He's been a super really sub. He's been one thing people that Packer fans that diss Matt LaFleur, what he was able to do with a totally different style of quarterback. And you saw, and this wasn't a knock on DA. My only knock on DA was the fact that on that fourth down, I believe, I don't know if it was a fourth or third, but you didn't know that it was going to be Malik Willis on the run. And that was like, dude, clearly, if you know him, he's fresh coming in. That was a run. You have to sell for that run. But again, I'm nitty-picky. All right, and I got more. I got a couple bins, but Ben came back at the end. All right, he stopped playing with us. All right, he said, "I'm not going for two. We're at home." All right, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get this win and get the hell out of here. All right, Caleb Williams. All right, had a game of ups and downs that then reminded us why he was the number one pick within the NFL. Oh my God, Alex, I gotta ask you. I know how the text bubbles were blowing. But let's just start off with what you have to say, all right, being our resident journalist on this game and your thoughts from beginning to end.
I mean, Caleb Williams is something else. That's what this just boils down to. We've said it many times. And I came on here just being like, Kenneth, oh my goodness. And you're like, we know though. Here's the thing. We know. We've seen this. The Bears can win. You give Caleb time. We've said it a billion times. It's still, to me, as someone who has watched a lot of Bears football over my life, it's unbelievable still to me watching it all play out. That's like, oh my God, they got the guy.
Where it's like still hard haters? Where are the Caleb haters and the Bajent ones? And I'm not a disser.
There can't be a Caleb hater.
But the people that were still, I mean, and again, he's still not a finished product, right?
I know, it's crazy, dude.
And that's the scary part of what he and Ben Johnson can do. He's not a finished product. And to drop that bomb and then to hear him say that him and Ben Johnson were going over that, and to hear DJ Moore talk about in the post game that he knew what he had to do to sell out to get that done. And also one thing nobody said, and again, one of my problems with these broadcasts, and that was a damn pass interference anyway. They would have been on the damn goal line.
Yeah,
he was all over him. So, and also we saw how tired DJ Moore was. We've been asking for how long to involve DJ Moore. So we didn't know, clear everybody out. Everyone gets hurt. And now we're going to go to DJ and to see them. I was sitting there like, run the rock. We're not in 2-minute drill anymore. All you need is a field goal. Once they sat there and how the defense showed up, the reassertion of Tremaine Edmonds, like that you saw, we talked about that on here, about Tremaine Edmonds and the different things in the run game specifically. Alex, I said to you about crashing through the line and coming and tackling running backs from behind, right? He's that fast, right? So all the Roshan guys, and I'm not Roshan dissing, but this is the guy that's here, and this guy performs well along with TJ Edwards. let's get a guys here their props. All right, because you see the shit that they just did on here. All right, you see the blood, sweat, and tears that we're getting out of a team that was basically beaten. All right, they were they were sat there
down 10. They were down 10 with 2 minutes to go. They were down 10 with 2 minutes to go. Are you kidding me?
With no plan, because no one's planning that Malik Willis is coming in the damn game. All right.
Yeah.
And what, like I said, the part where DA made a mistake. Outside of that, the whole scheme isn't based off of. They had to sit there and go into a zone because they couldn't play man because you couldn't turn your back against Malik Willis, basically.
Yeah, they had to throw the game plan out the window.
You had to, with the baby and the game plan are out of the window. Unfortunately, get the baby, all right? But when you sit there and you see how they overcame that, like that's where you're like, and we'll see next year, but that's where you're like, this is special. Being honest,
juice. They got juice.
All right, this when you still don't have a consistent pass rush, right? We saw young man Grady out there, baby. All right,
he was everywhere in that first half.
Dog, we saw young man Grady. You got the Tez effect at the end that benefits you with Malik Willis. Like, it's a lot of game balls to be given out. All right. Mm-hmm. It may give game balls to guys that was on the look. I saw Rome throw the cloak on Walker. He may get a game ball. Damn it. That's how many game balls we got here.
Dude, I got to talk more about Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. What he did at the end of that game is
19 to 34, Alex, 250 yards. And look, that 19 to 34 sounds a lot better than what it looked like. It's like old Michael Jordan numbers for anybody, the kids that don't know. Second run Mike, right? Where he could still fly, but he wasn't a flyer. You would have Mike would start off like 2 of 12, and you'd be like, oh, Mike on one of those. He gonna shoot himself to 50%, right? And it's gonna be, he's gonna end up being like 13 to 35, right? Like he's gonna not 13 to 35, but you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, but 17 to 35, something to that degree, exactly. Right? And that's what Caleb has when you looked at different parts of this game, with being 19 of 34 for 250 yards, 2 TDs, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 98.9. All right. And then the key part before you jump in here is down the stretch. All right. When you can't sit there and diss someone who has that in them where it's on the line and I'm fine. All right. One thing Alex texts is Caleb is calm, right? Like it's down the line and it's not even a problem. Knowing, and this is the key, and I'm gonna let my guy run off right here. Knowing he let that game get away from him in Green Bay and how he acted. We talked about he acted like, damn it, I messed up, but I'm gonna get your ass. And guess what he did? He got their ass.
I mean, just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Like the lack of fear again. You know, like after throwing the interception to lose the game, the lack of fear, still throwing it. And like the intentional grounding that just can't happen, right? Like he's obviously frustrated. There was a missed assignment somewhere. Everybody, like massive miscommunication. You still can't take that intentional grounding to make that field goal much longer, right? Hats off Cairo Santos. I mean, they put him in a tough position. You turn a 41-yard field goal in bad conditions into a 51-yard field goal in bad conditions. Like that's tough. And they overcame it thanks to Cairo Santos, but he shakes that stuff off. After forcing some stuff, after, you know, those mistakes, those miscues, his ability to, in those waning moments, stay calm, take what the defense is giving him when it's not there, to take what the defense is giving him, check the ball down, find the layup, find the easy completion, methodically move, and then still not totally belly up, not totally dink and dunk, but still, hey, okay, we have DJ Moore open on a dagger. Bam, let's hit him. We've got Olamide Zaccheaus open for a chunk. Let's hit him. You know, DJ Moore, home run. There's a home run available. I'm not going to take the layup. I'm going for the win. I'm going for the touchdown. So to me, it was that unbelievable blend of, okay, I know what I need to do. I need to take what the defense is giving me. We need to keep these chains moving. We need to stay ahead of the sticks. We need to move with urgency, but also still being like, here's an opportunity where we can strike. Here's an opportunity where we can get a big chunk, and getting those chunks when it's not there to just scramble and run. I mean, he was putting it all together. He was putting it all together. And then just two absolutely absurd throws. The fourth down, there's a free runner coming at him, breathing down his neck. Literally must have it. If you do not get it, the Bears lose the football game. Puts it in just a perfect spot for Jahdae Walker to make a great catch, and hats off Jahdae Walker for making the catch on the other end. But like, that's a tough throw, and puts it like, yes, he's wide open, but like, again, the guy's coming down. He just puts it literally perfect spot. And then the DJ Moore touchdown is crazy, man. Again, that is a crazy, he like literally places it. He could not have placed it in his hands any better, with Keyshawn Nixon draped over him for the game. Again, given what happened 2 weeks ago where he underthrows the ball and the Bears lose, to then make an absolutely perfect throw. What he put on display in the last moments, it's like, I cannot believe that we are watching this type of play from a Chicago Bears quarterback. It's unreal.
And as you put Walker, a guy that is a rookie with not a lot of reps, and you were able to use him and get that ball to him, as you said, being barreled down upon, right? And to hit him a ball that looked like it could have been being almost thrown out of bounds, right? But you were right there. Caleb was right there with it when you needed it most, when the game could have been just the shot to right. I mean, that's basically what it was. It was, as you said, it was fourth down. It was win or go home. And at this point, it looked like, hey, there's a chance they may go home, because he was under pressure and he just threw the ball. And again, just like we were talking about last week, when nationally everybody was like, that was a bad throw. And it was like, maybe not, maybe for your quarterback. The guy that's under center for you. But for the guy that's under center for the Bears, that's what he does. And he's been doing it since he was in the DMV, not living with his parents. All right. Living alone as a child, being a football savant at quarterback. And then, like you said, with the pass to DJ, I think the thing to me, there were several things as we start off with the offensive side of the ball. Commitment to the run. Like, when you look at the run numbers, they're not crazy. Swift, 13 attempts for 58 yards, 4.5 carries. 4-point-yard average. A long of just 9. Kyle Monungai, 9 attempts, 50 yards, 5.6. And that's the key for 13, a long of 13. Caleb, 3 attempts, 30 yards, 10 yards in attempt for 12 for the long. But the situational running. And then also when you think about what those running backs were doing in a passing game, particularly Kyle Monungai, 4 targets, 3 yards, 43 yards, and then longer 34, and what he did on that sideline with extending that run for that young rookie, right? To be such an important part for and he may not have had the option, but for Ryan Poles to say, you know what, I'm not going to go with my pick last year with Roschon. This guy's going to be the backup, right? And I'm sure Ben Johnson had a lot to do with it. But to see what that backfield, the grueling, what DeAndre Swift, and he showed it last year, but he's done it more. The grueling runs and what DeAndre Swift has done after contact now compared to the past. Both of these running backs, there's so much they get after contact that takes the next down from being a long to being a short. Mm-hmm. There's so many times they're hit after the third, after getting maybe 2 or 3 yards, mm-hmm. and then they twist and extend it to almost 7 yards. And now you have a short yardage, and there's a lot more that you can do. But Ben Johnson was something I want to talk about. You saw Ben Johnson make some of the gimmicky mistakes in this game.
A little cuteness. We predicted some decoration, but not in that moment. I didn't expect it.
Right. But then what did he do? He stopped. I don't want to curse anymore today, but he stopped playing around. Like there were several times in my notes I wrote about what the hell is Ben Johnson doing. But you said the cuteness. Break down the cuteness for everybody while I'm going through my notes, Alex.
Well, just the 4th and 1, the
Right.
ultimate cutesy. And it is a play. I saw this circulating on Twitter. It was a play that they ran in Detroit with David Montgomery. That
The
apparently
triple play
worked.
Wildcat.
Well, it's a move where.
Oh no, this is. I think this.
Yeah,
was,
they're lined up in
Wildcats.
So they're lined up in Wildcats. So Caleb Williams is out wide, and Kyle Monangai was in shotgun for all intents and purposes. Cole Kmet then runs under center as if he is going to take a handoff and do a little tight end sneak, which we have seen the Bears run, not incredibly effectively, that tight end sneak. And then as he's doing like a fake check at the line, he's, Cole Kmet is going easy, doing some fake cadence.
You're really selling that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it kind of were. Then Drew Dahlman rips a snap, and we've seen him rip some high snaps. Mm-hmm. When it's a high snap for Caleb Williams, who is 6'1", maybe he can handle it. Kyle Monangai is a small guy, so he rips a high snap. It went way over Kyle Monangai's head, and this 4th and a few feet situation. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a 4th and a few feet. Then ends up being this gnarly turnover on downs. When it's like, you're kind of out physicaling the Packers right now. I don't mind the cuteness. But like, to me, I kind of expected it to come like a 2nd and 8 out of nowhere. Like, okay, you've been pounding the ball and now you got a 2nd and 8 near midfield and you take a big shot with a trick play. The 4th and an inch, you could probably just get that inch. But here's the other thing. If it's just like a good snap and they execute, it's probably a first down. It could maybe go for a chunk. We're talking about how it's a genius thing. So like the cuteness versus execution, I don't know. I don't know about that moment, but that's really the main cuteness we're talking about. Oh, and then some more cuteness. Trying to sneak in that kick before the 2-minute warning rather than banging a timeout, right? They try and sneak in the kick to make it a 1-score game before the 2-minute warning. They couldn't get it done, and they end up wasting the 2-minute warning. Ended up being the best accidental thing that happened to that team. Best accidental thing to happen to that team because they don't get the 2-minute warning. Now they're like, all right, shoot, we got to do an onside kick, and they got the onside kick. So the cuteness did not work on the 4th down. The cuteness did not work trying to, and again, I don't know if it's cuteness. That's maybe not the right word for that, but like that's a sequence they want back when they weren't able to get that field goal off before 2 minutes, before the 2-minute warning. But that ended up being a happy mistake after they returned that onside kick. So just wild stuff. Did I explain and stall enough while you looked up your notes?
Yeah. Yes, you did. It's listen. Some of it I get. Right. So I think this is the conundrum to a certain degree, in my opinion, with Ben Johnson. He is building his program out, right? His program is ahead of schedule, and he's still trying to implement situational opportunities that he wants his team to be able to take on in the future. One, to help them now to build confidence, but also to let other teams know that they can actually do this, to have film out, blah, blah, skippy woo woo, right? But there's also a certain time where I don't want to say like they can steal a championship, but you can definitely steal a lot of noise in the playoffs, right? And you need every victory one to get the highest seat that you can get, so that we've talked about this, like after the Bears lost, I said Soldier Field is going to be rocking. Excuse me, when the Packers come here. Sometimes people don't talk about the home field advantage of majority of Chicago teams, let alone when they're winning. The amount of people, you know what? I think I may have said this to you in the past. Like, I know when teams in Chicago are doing well because Black women will say, "Ooh, I'm going to watch the game." Now, this would be like with the Bulls. And you'd be like, "What's the game?" And the game would be whatever team was looking like a playoff team, right? And all I see around the city when I'm where I'm at is like Black women with Bears gear on. I see everyone with Bears gear on. But like just for like, and you could just, and it's like, it just lets you just watch women in general, right?
That's the barometer. If black women are dialed in, that means the team is doing well. That's the Kenneth Davis barometer.
Well, we live in one of the most segregated cities in the United States.
Facts.
So
Facts.
if I'm probably going to come across some black women. But my point being is really when women are uber locked in, like, and I'm not just kind of like locked in. I'm not saying women don't like sports. That's not what I'm saying. But it's particularly women in the city of Chicago. But like when they're all in and it's the laid back fan, not the fan that's always into it, but the fan that's kind of is into it, and everybody is like, "Yo, we gotta go." They're having football parties for the Bears, and the crazy part is, think about how many people was like, "Here we go again today, Alex," and it looked like, okay,
I'll raise
I
my
know.
hand. I was texting Ken. I was texting Ken like the Bears are really about to lose to Malik Willis and Snoop Huntley in the same year. I'm texting my friends. I'm like, is a team disqualified from the playoffs if they lose to Malik Willis and Snoop Huntley in the same year?
It was funny, and that was definitely a funny text. But again, and I know you're joking because we talked about the differences in look, if Snoop Huntley was what Malik Willis has been for the Green Bay Packers, he, outside of initially maybe wanting to get to his own team, he never would have left the Ravens and been out on the street, right? Like he couldn't produce consistently what Malik Willis can produce as a backup, let alone coming in. At least at one point he was getting all the reps. You know what I'm saying? Like this is coming in cold, right? And them having to team. Right. So like but he has that capability. He has that capability. Like I know at some point, and we'll get off of Malik Willis, but now the Titans may be happy with Cam Ward in the future. But when you went with Levis, you had to be like, damn, when you saw what Malik Willis was doing in Green Bay, we didn't build the system around him properly. You know what I'm saying? And not to say he's going to be great, but just to get wins. You know, like when you're a team that bad, as bad as the Titans have been since Mike Vrabel left, you need to be able to just stack wins to start building your program up. But for the Bears and for us to look at how Malik Willis he screwed their game plan defensively up. And it seemed like another Bears loss. And usually it's like, particularly when they're supposed to be stepping up to another stage, this is a revenge game. You should be able to stop Malik Willis. You think like there's some things as far as passing he wouldn't be able to do as effectively as Jordan Love, but we clearly saw, and Tom Brady raved about his form, whatever. They still were able to sustain that and overcome it. And that's where, when we talk about the foundation is different. The foundation is different. I'm not going to sit here and just wax poetic all the time about it, about them, but you see that this is something different is going on when it comes to the beloved.
Unreal times we're living in, Kenneth.
Dude, you and I and you, me and you, same time, same place. I mean, it is because they have the best new head coach in football as far as rookie head coach, right? They have the best rookie head coach in football. They have arguably, and you could put Drake May up there. You could, even if you want to throw Bo Nix around a little, I think Bo Nix is still just a smidge down. I mean, Bo Nix is dealing. I'm not even dissing Bo Nix. Bo Nix is dealing, right? The stuff that he did the last couple of games, but when you talk about out of all those three quarterbacks, the guy that has that je ne sais quoi, it's put that guy in that Bears uniform, right? Is showing up in spades when times look like he doesn't have a Trump hand, and he's throwing that bad boy down like, I'm about to get out of here and run off. Listen, you got to know when to hold him. You got to know when to fold him. All right.
And you got to know when to call nil. That's the real art. That's the real art. You got to know how to
know when to hide. And know when to hide. All right. And you never count your money when you sit at the table. All right. Just that.
We're talking poker or spades.
We're talking Kenny Rogers, baby. But yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. If we're talking quarterbacks, and just to wax more poetic, because after a game like this, it's just fun to get riled up. It's fun to talk reckless. It's the ceiling, man. And again, you touched on this. It's the ceiling. It still feels like this team is just scratching the surface. This team couldn't do anything on offense in the first half. They were shut out in the first half, weren't they? I mean, they scored their first points of the game, 12-12 on the clock in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're shut out in the first half. Defense,
at home.
We at home. We should talk now. The defense played a role in this. It's a really interesting. I think the defense in many respects played really not well, and in other respects just played unbelievably well. But a lot of the reasons that the offense struggled so much, they barely touched the ball, right? The time of possession
was crazy
in that third quarter. Like the Packers had more than 10 minutes extra time of possession. They had run something like 20 more offensive plays. And that's because the defense was doing the ultimate bend, don't break, right? The defense was struggling to get off the field, but then they also did something unbelievable in the red zone, just like would not let the Packers in. Check this out.
That crazy. That's the ultimate part of bend, don't break right there, right? Where you're getting your backside kicked in. And it's partially because, and we've seen it here, when you have a mobile quarterback, even with Jacobs being out, it elevates the run game because you have to sit there and account for what that quarterback will do when the gaps open up and your DB's backs are facing him, right? Yeah. And that part right there, and they still was stingy, all right, as they've been all year long when it comes to red zone defense. That when we talk about Dennis Allen, maybe enough, we don't talk about it enough about how stingy this team has been without a consistent pass rush, with injured DBs and injured linebackers. Up and this. When's the last time we've seen TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds play a game together, Alex? Think about that.
It's been a bit. It's been at least a month because Tremaine
and
Edmonds
it was brief. Whenever it was
TJ Edwards was out for a while. So it's been a bit. TJ Edwards had that big boy hit on third down also. Big boy hit to set up the turnover on downs.
And sniffing it out too. It wasn't just a straight again, the players, the key players that they have brought in here, and that's prior. When I say stuff about Ryan Poles, that's prior to Ben Johnson being here, switching out the linebackers and bringing those linebackers in here. Man, dude, when you said that about the defense still, like you said, had moments. Tyreek Stevenson had a moment. Nashawn, of course, is always going to be out there popping. CJ was out there doing his thing. Again, we mentioned the line, the down. Austin Booker, all right? I don't want to hear this Austin Booker slander, Tom Brady. Jordan Love ducked down. He's crunched up, too.
Kind of stepped into it, too. Kind of ducked.
Right. Like, you're making it seem like Austin Booker.
He went too high. Austin Booker he went in too high. Should have gone in
lower. But he didn't hit him. He made it seem like he hit him with the crown of his helmet, though. Right? Like, he went in like this, and he's going. I'm not saying. I'm just saying when they were like, oh, it was so dirty. I did not feel it was so like he intentionally was trying to hit him with that you could say that it's a quarterback and you have to pull up because of these type of situations. But I didn't think he was going in with the intent to injure. But you do have to inflict it. But they were swapping pay. You saw what Nixon did to DJ early in the game.
Yep.
Like you saw Walker in the deep. Like this was old school. You know what? You're trying to stop us. Forget the history about this. This is two divisional teams trying to make a statement against each other. They played a close game 2 weeks ago, and now they're really trying to tell each other what it is. And they were out there in this prime time Saturday night game trying to show the world or the nation what they were about. And both of them played well, and that's with the Packers with the backup quarterback. But the Bears played better when it came to what they need to do in the onside kick. Getting the onside kick, like, dude, what, dude? All right,
that just doesn't happen, and they've now done this twice in a couple of years. Like it's so funny. It's like really funny to me. I was remarking on this a little bit, like. week 1, people were ready. Not you. I'm not saying you, Kenneth Davis, but like you, I'm talking to you. You wanted Cairo Santos cut after week 1. And Cairo Santos showed you why he is still a Chicago.
You get on me too about Cairo Santos. And
no,
Cairo
I'm not getting
Santos,
on you. I'm not getting on you.
No,
but I'm getting on you.
But still, your point, because you always talk about like, hey, how consistent he is. And we're talking about it. So I was like kicking to the left with my family. Cairo Santos and most of the great Bears kickers do this when you're talking about Kevin Butler, Robbie Gould, Cairo Santos, knowing how the wind is on the lakefront and knowing what to do. But no, if he missed one, I still would have been like he had a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like how that win was.
The 51-yarder? Like,
yes, dude. I'm talking about, dog. If he missed one, he still would have performed well in those wins. He didn't miss like that. Shout out. I'm off the he needs to kick 60 for next season. Just for next season.
And you see one of them, he like put a little English on it. Like he put a little tilt, he put a little English, like dude, obviously, like that's what
that was the one to the left. That was
the one, yeah.
That was the one because the wind had to, like if you look at it, it looked like he's gonna go wide left, and the wind caught that bad boy. Was like, I got you, and it went
right. He curled it right in. So there's one like Cairo Santos, and this was me doing a little bit of self-reflection as it relates back to that onside kick. Richard Hightower, another man who was damn near run out of town. If Twitter ran the Chicago Bears, Richard Hightower would not be the special teams coordinator of the Chicago Bears anymore. Good thing Twitter doesn't run the Chicago Bears because okay, there's the onside kick. They did it, which is unreal. They did the same thing last year against the Vikings where they nearly stole another win, but then they ended up, pissing it away. They could not. They could, just as the Bears continue to turn over leaves, they could not execute on that absolute ridiculous comeback that they nearly put together last year against the Vikings. Another onside kick that they could. So that's like, now it's like, wait, are the Bears secretly good at onside kicks? Like what is Cairo doing with that little kickoff? Again, speaking of the English, where Romeo Dobbs can't grab it, and then all of a sudden it's just like 9 guys.
He did those guys are bearing down on you. You will take your eyes off the ball.
So, I bet that's what I'm saying. Because like he touches the ball and then there's like 9 Bears on top of him, and a lot of that comes down to coaching, man. A lot of that comes down to coaching. So obviously execution, like Cairo did a great job kicking that ball. You need a little puck luck with Romeo Dobbs having a little bit of butterfingers, but like it's not a mistake that like a lot of Bears are there, to get to the football. So Richard Hightower, hats off. This is twice in 2 years they've recovered an onside kick.
In some ways, I'm not saying if the Bears would have won in Green Bay, it wouldn't have been better. But the Bears put Green Bay on alarm that damn, they almost came in here and beat us. All right, at the end of this game, that like we got away with one to a degree, right? And the Green Bay had their chest puckered out. And when you think about, okay, they're gonna go for 2 or whatever, and my whole thought was, man, you better kick this field goal before anything. It was like, dude, don't you go for 2? You're at home. And I'm not even saying like that last game factored in. I hope it would, but that it had to factor in because 1, you are at home. But to let you know the confidence to not just sit there and kick the field goal to go into overtime and be like, we don't think you guys are going to be able to do anything with 20 or 30 seconds left. But then to give Green Bay the ball because you're like, you're not going to score on us, right? And if you do score, it's going to be a field goal. Or if you score a touchdown, we're going to score a touchdown. It's going to keep going. But to know that you're like, you know what? We have this right now to stop them, right? To go out there and get a turnovers on downs because of a botched exchange, right? And then to go down there after it looked like the first, when they on the first down of the first series, 1, they should have run the ball. You shouldn't have. You sat there and tried to be cute. Just run the rock because at this point they're tired and you know what your running backs do with tired defensive lines and linebackers. But they didn't. But then started to, and you saw that they were matriculating down the field. And then at that point, to throw that pass to DJ Moore with the knockout blow, like it was Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, right? That's the type of.
Did Caleb Williams smile before throwing that knockout punch ball?
Easily, of course he did. Of course he did. All right, and showed his painted fingernails too. Right, but just to sit there and like that's a different way to go home for Green Bay than okay, the Bears slowly matriculating down the field, but to sit there and hit you and bomb you from over top, right? To hit you with that, that is a message and a feeling that, and this is just an opinion, can carry them to be able to pull. And dog, Rome is out, and Burton, who is sitting there and is growing in this offense these last 4 weeks, they're both out. And think about it, and we said this again last week, or we said this again in Green Bay. What if Rome was there, right? What have we been saying? If Rome was there, there's a lead. If it's not a touchdown, there's 2 huge gains just with Rome being out there, right? Burton's not there. Burton is getting like 2 long pass. He's going to get a short pass and make it long, and a long pass and take it further, right? Just because what he can do after catches. And to have them down and to play in that weather and to still pull it off here with the offense, as you said, stinking up the joint in the first half, and Malik Willis showing, hey, you didn't get Jordan Love, but you're going to take this and you're going to like it. I got to give him props, because that speaks a lot about a team that things aren't going your way. And it's like, we got this. And that's consistently after the first couple of games, even with the games where the offense stunk, the Bears have consistently done under this head coach with these players, not just this quarterback, but with these players this season. And I've said this when they got to like 8 or 9 wins, people were like, well, what if they just stink up, and it's still going to be a nice season. And it ended, because I didn't think they were going to sit there and lose out anyway. But we always think the sky is falling because we're Chicago fans and we don't get nice things. And we got something nice, and just enjoy it for what it is this season. We may not go as far as we want to, but look at what it is and look how fun it's been. Right. I remember the heart attack times with the comebacks when it was like, dude, I just want a victory. Right. I don't want to feel like the game may be on the thin blade every second. And then it comes to stuff like this. And this has been particularly us covering the Bears for the last 4 years. And they have just stunk up the place. Right.
Yeah.
Any way that you can figure out to lose, they'll find it. Right.
Yeah. And now the Bears are on the other side of it. Now, now it's the Commanders fumbling it. Now it's Green Bay fumbling it. Now it's the Raiders with the blocked kick. Now it's, the Vikings pissing away an opportunity. And the Bears, it's the Bears finding ways to win. It's the Bears finding ways to execute when the chips are on the table. It's getting the touchdown on 4th and 4 with a free runner coming, that in past years, that's incomplete 10 out of 10 times. That's incomplete 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah,
the Bears find a way.
No, he gets hit and the ball is fumbled, or he throws a screen and the guy catches it and takes it in for a touchdown. Right, like that's the edge rusher comes off, catches the ball. It's like we saw that play and takes it in. Like,
or Darnell Mooney catches it, fumbles it, recatches it, and then he's an inch short.
That part right there.
The defense. I want to circle back on this, because this is kind of what I was talking about. Whereas like the defense, like they're having trouble, but then again, chips on the table, they get it down. I'm taking out the last drive of the first half when the Packers just kneeled on it twice. I'm throwing that. I'm striking it from the record. So with that stricken from the record, the first 4 defensive possessions for the Bears, so the first 4 offensive possessions for the Packers get it to the Bears 7-yard line, ends up in a turnover on downs. The Packers get it to the Bears 8-yard line, field goal. They get it their third time to the Bears 4-yard line, field goal. And then again, they get it to the Bears 4-yard line, fumble. The Packers made it inside the Bears 10 4 times, inside the Bears 5 twice. And the Bears found a way to keep that to 6 points. So again, like the defense allowed the Packers to chew up all this clock, which obviously hurt the offense. The offense was like 1 of 6 on third downs at some point. really, really struggling. But again, the defense executing when the chips are down. Tyree Stevenson with a big PBU, somebody coming in with a big stuff, somebody doing this, that, and the other thing to force an incompletion. Keep it to 6 points. Keep the Bears in this football game. Keep it within reach, where even 10 points with 2 minutes to go is within reach. That's what I'm talking about, where it's just like they just are finding ways to execute when they absolutely need to execute. So that's crazy, dude. 4 trips inside the 10, 2 of them inside the 5, and they only get 6 points out of that. Like, hats off to the Bears defense.
And that's coaching. So that's shout out to Dennis Allen and those players, because you're calling those plays that's stifling them. Like, once you get them in the shortened field, all right, I know what they like to do, particularly even with Malik Willis, or what he can do, and we're going to try to sit there and lessen it. And they did that. As you pointed out, that's ridiculous to a team that was doing what they were doing as far as shoving the ball up and down the field on them. Dude, this was nice. All right. Like, and again, dude, once they get another force factor on the defensive line. And the crazy part, I want to say, if they stay healthy, they haven't been healthy all year. It's damn near if Caleb just stays healthy. All right. But just think about what this team can do. They might, if they're healthy next year at Alex, and they get this has been one of the most injured teams in the league. We don't look at it like that. But I mean, just imagine what this team could do. But I'm sorry, y'all. I know you like Ken, why you jumping ahead. Just imagine what they may be able to do this year, the style of play that they've been playing with the playoffs just around the corner. Alex was doing the playoff analyzer a couple weeks ago. I guess we're in, right? But think about that, right? Like, there's no.
Did the Lions? No, I think they still need a Lions loss.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure with a Lions loss, they clinch. If the Lions lose, they will make the playoff.
I don't.
They're right there.
Let me say this. They're in. All right, like, they're in.
Mathematically speaking, they're not exactly in. So a little caveat to those. Yeah, I just need to get a little pedantic here. I mean, yes. I mean, one could say 11 wins, they're in. But actually,
he's being factually accurate, and he's being to the letter, and I'm being to the spirit.
But yeah, they're in. It looks pretty good. They're in.
Yeah, it looks like they're in. All right. And imagine who wants to play them, right? Like, and just think about that. Who wants to play them? And if they get a game at Soldier Field, at least, dude, do you know how crazy? So it was crazy tonight. Do you know how crazy it's going to be? All right. Like, oh, man.
How about a rematch? How about a little Packers with a 7-seed rematch at Soldier Field?
Whoa. Great, dude. Look, I will be, man. Just imagine.
That's on the table. That's fully on the table.
Imagine what this now will look like next year, both teams, if they're healthy. And again, who knows when Micah's going to be able to come back with injuring his knee so late in the season. But the type of hate they're going to really have, like, there's no big brother, little brother, as much as now it's two teams that have an historic rivalry who are all shooting for the same thing with capabilities, because little brother usually doesn't have a quarterback, but with capabilities to go out there and both perhaps win Super Bowls if things work out in their own way or manner. What else did you want to jump into?
Well, just like you had me looking at playoff stuff, we were talking playoffs. So I do think that the Bears clinch this week if the Lions lose. So Bears fans, you are now Steelers fans. And with the number 1 seed still kind of within reach, that's not off the table either, I don't believe. The Bears fans, you should be rooting for the Carolina Panthers, who host the Seattle Seahawks next week. The Seahawks are 12-3. So the Panthers, you're rooting for the Panthers. You are also rooting for the Falcons at home against the LA Rams, who are 11-4. And then in week 18, because we are getting way, way, way ahead of ourselves now, Rams host the Cardinals. That's going to be a tough dub, but maybe the Cardinals can get it done. And then the Niners host the Seahawks. So the Niners can beat the Seahawks, but like, is it dangerous to like start thinking about the 1 seed?
I mean, why not? I mean, I don't know.
Why not? If you beat the 49ers next week, it gets kind of crazy.
I don't know of how the damn Seahawks are playing, and Sam. Vikings with it. I still don't know why they didn't, and I guess probably Darnold wanted them to get rid of JJ if he was going to remain, but I don't know why they didn't hold on to Sam Darnold. Because we went over Sam Darnold, you and I, a week or two ago. But those two teams, but speaking of the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams, that's with Devontae Adams out with a hammy.
Changes that team a lot.
It changes that team a lot. But Bears definitely have a chance. Alex, is there anything you want to do, or you want to give out some game balls, man?
Let's hand out some game balls, dude.
Go ahead. Give out your first game ball because I want to see what you got to say.
It's got to be Caleb Williams has to get my first game ball. The guy just continues to be absolutely electric, absolutely just nails, elevates his game, force multiplier, literally every single quality I think you want in a quarterback. I'm getting carried away here, but a game like this, again, I feel like I need to keep putting that asterisk. I'm getting carried away, but I'm letting myself get carried away because that game was crazy. Everything you want in a number 1 overall pick quarterback, Caleb Williams is putting on display. The Bears are winning football games because of their quarterback. The quarterback is Caleb Williams, who is making ridiculous throws in the most ridiculous moments. Bears win. Caleb Williams, game ball. You are ridiculous, sir.
I'm happy that's why I made you go first, because I want to see what you're going to do. I'm going to give mine to the guy that kept them in the game, and that's Cairo Santos. Cairo Santos and that wind show why you are here in Chicago. There will be no doinking in this piece. All right. And I didn't want to say peace. But for him to sit there and do that, he has to get a game ball, sir. So please. Also, the onside kick. All right. Let's not forget the onside kick, too. More importantly, the onside. Both. I mean, all of that, but the onside kick. Cairo Santos was a force multiplier today. And, sir, we are fortunate to have you wear that C on the side of your helmet.
Yeah. And he wears a C on his chest because he's a captain. Your kicker's a captain. You doing a little skull action?
No, he does that dance when he kicks his feet out, the little Brazilian joint.
Yes. Yeah. I feel you. Okay. I'm giving a game ball to Jade Walker. Dude gets his first career reception early in the game, gets his feet under him, and then not an easy catch on 4th down.
Right.
Have to have it moment. Caleb Williams looks his way. He comes through with the great Selly too. I mean, Jade Walker, what a night for Jade Walker. First career touchdown, first career catch. Have yourself a Saturday evening, Jade.
As we go from youth, let us go to experience. And let's go to a guy that hasn't been getting enough receptions this season, and the stalwart veteran DJ Moore with the game-winning touchdown catch in overtime. We've talked ad nauseum about the fact that he's been underused by Ben Johnson, and it doesn't seem to be clicking. And Caleb pointed out this was planned, this play, and look at what DJ did. We sit here and talk nonsense about him perhaps being moved on, and look at what he can do in this system. You got to give props to a vet. The last 2 weeks with basically game-winning TD catches. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, and DJ Moore with a beat-up wide receiver core. Shout out to DJ. for bringing it in. And these aren't easy catches. All right. There was over like 50 defenders last week, and you had literally had a guy corralling him. All right. This week. So shout out to the veteran DJ Moore for getting it done big time while being underused this season.
Can I give an honorable mention?
Go right ahead.
I'm just going to give an honorable mention just because I feel like we've given out so many game balls. Nashawn Wright, the takeaway king of the world. Just another forced fumble. What can't this guy do? So Nashawn Wright, hats off, dude. Another one. After he got the forced fumble on the Jalen Hurts tush push, turned that whole thing around, gets another forced fumble here on the doorstep, turns this whole thing. It didn't like really turn the whole thing around, but like big time play. Nashawn Wright, the takeaway.
How do you let him get out the house? How do you let him get out?
Cannot.
It's gonna be a problem for some people because you can't. And even if it comes back to bite you. You can't. Like if this is just a 1-year blip, he's in the building and he's not leaving. Lock the doors. All right. This is what's the name? Jordan with going to the Dallas Mavericks and the Clippers flying in.
Yeah, they locked them in to play poker.
Right.
Or something. They played cards all night until they got the deal done.
Like this is that. But yeah, and I'll give my honorable mention, head coach Ben Johnson. You did it again. You did it, and you can see the growth, even in you as a wildly creative coach that's trying to imbue your team with confidence that you see there's several ways that you can do it, and it always doesn't have to be, even though you did it in an overtime, but you got to overtime to do it, to throw that knockout blow you like to throw. Right, he's a haymaker. Like, boy, it's like, you can hit. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to tell you why. What I say is wrong. You can hit him in the body, Ben Johnson. You don't always have to go up top. But I'm wrong because he does hit them in the body. Because one of the things we always say, he runs the damn ball, right? And those are the body blows right there. But Ben Johnson, being the best thing that's happened in Chicago. Man, it's so long, it's ridiculous. I put him on the top, and I put Caleb slightly below him because I don't even know if Caleb. Think about what Caleb will be if he didn't have this coach right now. We'd be sitting here talking about crazy.
They are a match made in heaven, baby. They are a match made in heaven.
Yeah, a guy like him with what he did with Jared Goff, with someone playing strictly within his system, to get someone who can color outside the box like Caleb. You know what I'm saying? It's like Miles Davis and Coltrane, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's that, where you have Miles and then you have Coltrane that wants to see how far he can stretch the note and do all of that. And that's one of the things that you just enjoy. Any extra points before we get out of here?
I'm gonna save my extra points, man. My extra point is Chicago. Enjoy your weekend.
That's what.
Bears, enjoy this. Enjoy this. Hang on to this feeling as long as you can, Bears fans.
I had nothing else. That you have been bludgeoned and beaten, kicked down and spat upon, and now you wipe that from your eye and realize that you are the golden child, right? You got a foreign uncle that has no kids, and he just dropped off a couple $1 million to you, right? And like, enjoy it and spend it. And that's what Alex was saying, in the equity of joy. Like, this whole weekend now, Sunday, you don't have to worry about, you can go have brunch tomorrow, right? You can go to a big block store. You can go do whatever you want to do. You don't have to wait for the Bears, right? The Bears did what they have to do already, right? You can sleep. Think about it. You can sleep late as you want to tomorrow, right? No noon. You can sleep till 1. All right. So just enjoy it, because Bears fans deserve it. This team deserves it for what they put together and everything that they've been through. Here on the Windy City Podcast, presented by Fansided, we always appreciate you tuning in. We will be back this week, of course, to preview the Bears' upcoming game and maybe talk a little bit more about this, because this type of glow. When you got that glow, you got to let it ride a little bit longer. But be safe as we enter into this holiday week, and let's just enjoy it. We'll see you.